All right, good morning. It is 8 o'clock Eastern. Thank you so much for being here. It's your friend James Shaw. We are live in Indianapolis today for our call. Naomi and I are here for Game 4 of the NBA Finals. We're going to go watch the Pacers tonight, hopefully get a victory and take a commanding 3 games to 1 lead. We shall see what happens. A little bit nervous. OKC is good, y'all. But we shall see how it goes. The last time Pacers played in the NBA Finals was 25 years ago, the year 2000. I was still a student at the Ball State University, and I didn't go. I did not go to a single NBA Finals game, and it's something I regret. And here it is 25 years later. I said, I'm going because I'm not waiting another 25 years and I'll be 72. So if it happens once every 25 years, we're going this time. We're going to have a good time. We'll see what happens. So thank you for being here. We're going to have a great call today. It's been listing month inside of Pivot Shift Ahead, and this week has been all about that getting the appointment process. And so last week we talked about filling the pipeline full of leads. This week about going from lead to appointment. Next week it is the appointment. Like we're going to spend a full week on listing appointments and presentations and closing techniques and just getting the listing taken. How good is that going to be? Put it in the chat if you're excited about that. But none of that matters if you don't get to the table. In fact, truth is, you could argue that this week is more important than next week. That the getting from the lead pipeline to the appointment is significantly more important than the appointment itself because so many people just hire whomever is sitting in front of them. But you got to get in front of them. Today, it's about the gap between the getting the lead and getting in front of the table. The how do you build confidence in that seller from the time they've gone into your pipeline until the time you sit across from them? How do you continue to build confidence with that group so they know you're the one? That's what we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, something good. Adriana, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So I'm going to time something good with my answer. Last week, I had the opportunity to go to Laredo, Texas, to their market center and teach a class along with the OP, which is actually my supervisor at San Antonio, Texas. But anyway, I highly encourage them to get onto this call and just follow the schedule, and that will bring them success. And get this, to my surprise, we have a pivot member there. We have Gwen Garza, and I was so shocked. And even from there, now we have connected and we might be working a leap together. So this is just an amazing community. Thank you
I
so
love it.
much.
Gwen's on the call right now. We've got pivot people all over the world. We have pivot people all over the world. Maybe it's just one or two in a market center, but I'm proud of every single one of you that gets on. Adriana, thank you so much. Masha, good morning.
Good morning from Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I am excited to share that we have a new rising rock star on the pivot call this week, and she's been on the pre-show as well. Her name is Davita Hamilton, and she is in the Durham Market Center, and I just am so excited she's here, and she's just going to rock the real estate world. So please welcome her.
Davita, we're glad you're here. Just do whatever we teach you. You'll be just fine. All right. We're glad you're here. Masha, thanks for always inviting people. Frank, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. The Inspired by Theology on Tap, starting June 30th, I'm going to be doing real estate on tap at a local self-pour place. And we're going to keep it very simple. And anybody that's got specific things, we're going to offer them a free consultation, build a business, and have a good time in the process.
I love that. Getting out there and doing fun things, Frank. Thank you so much. Julie Hess, you get the last one, then we got to get rolling.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Mine's personal. I took the day off yesterday, actually Wednesday, Thursday, went back to Pittsburgh to golf on Wednesday. And then yesterday spent the day. It was my Father's Day gift to my son. And we spent it at the PGA. And it was such an amazing experience. And I'm so thankful that I have a business and that I have, outsourced things, with people, leverage that I could go and, take a day off and not have to worry about anything. And it was just fabulous seeing the players that we watch on TV, and we're burnt to a crisp, but it was so worth it. And it's funny, my brother went the first 2 days and he sat in the stands and he says, "You won't get close to them." And I thought, oh, you don't know me. You don't know the training that I have through KW. I will get right up to the rope and I have the best shots because I'm like, "Excuse me, is anybody in this? Would you consider letting me in there?" I mean, it's just so our training, like, oh yeah, it was fabulous. So anyway,
Next thing you know, we're going to see it teeing off, Julie. That's what's going to happen next time. They're going to invite you in to tee off.
There you
Julie,
go.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. Glad you had fun with that. That's good stuff. Let's get after it. This is my Father's Day present to myself as Game 4 of the NBA Finals. We'll see how it goes today. It's going to be a ton of fun. Here's where we are right now. It's about getting to the table, folks. We're about taking as many listings as we possibly can to ramp that inventory up, Last week we said, we gave you 5 days worth of calls on growing that pipeline. This week we've given you a whole bunch of calls about getting to the table. And I think one thing we can do is really build confidence with the seller. Now, why would we need to build confidence with sellers right now? Because sellers are cautious and nervous. When you flip on the news, you hear all sorts of things economically about the real estate market as a whole. I think that they want confidence in you and confidence in the ability to participate in this market before you walk in the door. If you walk in and they're confident in you and their ability to participate in this market, the listing is yours. Now, we've heard this many, many times, right? This is something you've heard in every Sales 101 class. People do business with people that they know and they like and they trust. So let's utilize the time between getting them in the pipeline and getting the appointment to build trust, because the appointment is so much easier when they trust you. Like, how many times have you known the moment you walked in, the listing was yours? Like, it's just, they don't even think about anybody else. And you're really just there to get keys and paperwork signed. Versus that time that they're a little uncertain either about you or about something in the market. So I broke it into kind of three pieces. Now, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. So if you like some of this and we don't go as in detail today, go back to yesterday's call. But how do we build trust with the seller? Well, first, what do you do pre-appointment marketing wise? We heard from Nick and some others yesterday about stuff they drop off at the door that might include testimonials, your resume, specific market stats. We got a thing from Dan Tamarkin yesterday where he gives some market stats via video for people so they have an idea of what's going on. Recent success stories, sellers who listened to your advice and sold quickly and for the most amount of money possible, all of that sort of stuff. Your unique value proposition, what is it that sets you apart? So all that could be in your kind of pre-appointment marketing kit, either that you drop off or send. Now, the next one is, what is your text and email sequence beforehand? Are you sending, once you schedule the appointment, some sort of text immediately following that says, thanks so much for scheduling this time. I'm really looking forward to it. And then a day later, some sort of value add email that you send. Here's what's happening in your neighborhood right now with home sales. Are you sending a reminder text 24 hours beforehand? Hey, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and talking about the next steps to get you from blank to blank. And then video when you can, like what Dan mentioned earlier. Next, do you have proof online that you're good at your job? If people are going on the socials and looking for you, can they tell that you're good at what you do or not? Are you getting reviews from clients? And if so, are you sending those to people? Emily Peckham teaches in her FISBO course about video reviews that she'll text to for sale by owners before she goes from other for sale by owners that have worked with her. Highlight how you've helped people like them in the past that have been in their situation. In other words, let other people build your credibility before you walk in. I think those are some key things that we can talk about. But I want to hear about you. How are you building confidence in that seller between the lead and the appointment so that when you walk in, it's yours? Orly, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My goodness, that's a lot, and it's all of the above. So how are you showing up, to your point, James? How are you showing up on social media? How are you showing up in your community? I'm doing the Ice Cream Social event next week. I'm inviting all my VIPs to a summer concert. It's all over social media. So I'm not coming off as just the realtor, but part of your integral community. I actually used one small example of using video. I had a client call me. They were an Indian couple. The daughter called me. She came in all the way from England because it's a very protective culture, and she was helping them move back to India. And they were interviewing a few agents. Well, I had just helped a young woman, she's 32, help her elderly Indian parents move back to India. They had no money. They were really needed my help. So I said to her, would you mind doing a video for me about how I helped you and your family through this very stressful experience? And she did that. I brought the video to the appointment with me, and that cemented it because it was similar cultures, similar situations. So use whatever you have. As far as the follow-up, I use HomeBot, I use texting. I'm signing up a listing today at top commission after being offered a lower commission by another agent because of the confidence that you bring to the table. They want to know that somebody is in charge. They don't want you vacillating. They want to know that you know what you're doing and that you have compassion and hand-holding while you're doing it.
Orly nailed it. We could stop right there, but we're not going to because Jasmine has her hand up and she's got a good answer too. Good morning.
Morning. Okay, so for me, honestly, it's really just been, like you said, the confidence. Literally, like my first listing was a for sale by owner through a cold call, fresh out of Ignite, and really just at the end of the day, like controlling the interaction. My interaction with that for sale by owner was not, "Hi, I'm a realtor." It was, "Hey, is this property still available?" Right then and there, I controlled that narrative. And then from there, just through being on these calls, I went and door knocked. It's the most thing that I'm like terrified. Okay, I'm terrified of door knocking. You guys like kept saying door knock, just do it. So I got the Red X leads one day, went and I knocked on the door. And 2 months later, she called just by how I knocked on the door. "Hi," I knew it was an expired listing, so I knocked on the door. "Hi, is this home for sale?" Literally, that's all I did. If it's not, if you ever decide to list it, here's my card. A week and a half ago, "Hey, Jasmine, I want to list my home." So really just your presentation. And then also, like you said, social media. When they click to my Instagram, they see how I would advertise their home. And that's pretty much what I would do. Thank you.
Get in front of them. And now, by the way, you have stories from people you've helped that you can share with future sellers, right, to continue to develop trust. Thank you, Jasmine. Appreciate it. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. So much good stuff here. I know many of you are like me. You think that the more that you talk and show your expertise, the more people will trust you. But I learned years ago that, and I believe it's from a book called How to Change People's Minds. I got to look at the title. It was really good, though. It said people trust you the more you listen to them. And I tried to apply that. And I found that if I'll talk to people, ask them questions, and just give them the time of possession and listen to them, the more they trust you. It's kind of backwards than what we think. We think if I show, and we do need to show our expertise. We need to be confident. We need to share what we know and give them that leadership that Orly was talking about. But also we need to listen. And the more they talk and you listen to them, they begin to trust you more. And the second thing I would just say is, hey, if you show your competence and everything and your database and your database trusts you, then they're going to pass that trust on to the people they refer to you.
All of that is so good, Mark. We taught in Bold forever. I haven't coached Bold, in 5 years, but back in the day, we taught in Bold this simple concept of the person who asks the questions controls the conversation, and the person who does most of the talking dominates the conversation. And by the way, the person who dominates it feels better about it. And what happens is agents tend to dominate. A seller asks a question and an agent goes blah, 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 like a turkey. And they just keep going and going and going. And then they leave the appointment going, "I nailed that." And then the seller hires somebody else.
Mhm.
Because see, the agent did all the talking. And so they thought, "Oh, we really connected. It was really great. I answered all their questions. I gave them all the stuff they needed." When the truth was, it was this monologue. But if you perfect your ability to ask questions and stay connected, and then pause and let them answer and listen and take notes and repeat back, and you do that and you build relationship with them and you build a connection with them, then they leave feeling like it was great. Why? Because they did most of the talking. And I think we have to be very careful about how much we go, like I'm doing right now. Ramble, 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 ramble. Pause, ask questions, listen, take notes. Mark, great share. We're doing awesome. Julie Hess, you're next. Good morning.
Yeah, the turkey, that was good. So the question was, how do we gain trust? And every time that I don't get a listing, I'm reading my notes that I've been writing. I always go back and I ask myself, what question did I not ask? And then as soon as I figure out that question, it goes on my pre-listing interview sheet. I have a pre-listing interview sheet back and front. So somebody calls, I whip it out right away. And I can guarantee you a lot of agents that they call aren't asking the questions you got to pre-interview them and kind of get stuff out of the way. And there's some hard questions, what's important to you? After, we're together, it's just bold. And when we get together tonight and you like everything I said, are you ready to hire me? Are you interviewing other agents? Like it's, and so recently I didn't get a listing appointment and I went in and I was so excited, but I was in the car when they called me, waiting for my clients to do a showing. And like an idiot, I took the call instead of like going to my voicemail. So I'm trying to write as much as I can.
And try
And
to
then
do
I
the
went the
questions by
next
memory.
morning. Yeah, I got excited because it came off our marketing and I didn't get it. And I thought I didn't follow my system. But I think you set yourself up by that pre-listing appointment. And I
Yep.
think that's where you gain the trust before you even walk in. So
And we did not cover that this week, the pre-listing call and interview, which I imagine, put it in the chat if you do one of those. I imagine a lot of our top producers do some sort of pre-listing interview. And maybe that'll be the first thing we tackle on Monday now. I might reorder what I'm doing. And Inspire members, maybe we can even share some of these pre-listing interviews with you. But if you see, Julie, when you get out of sync on your process, that's when you end up losing out on an opportunity. And yours is a great example of that.
yeah.
Yeah, you do a pre-listing interview, and here you are trying to do it by memory and take notes, but I promise you, you rushed it, you were scattered, the questions weren't in the right order, like
Yeah.
all of those things, right, Julie?
Yeah, and the pre-listing interview also gives you a gauge of whether you're going to end up working with them or not. I mean, you're asking, if you're thinking 500 and they're like, well, I want 1 million, right there, you already know going in what you're tackling. So the pre-listing interview sets the pace, sets you up for success.
That's
For
good
sure.
stuff. Well, I want to get these last three in, so we got to go quick. Kathleen, Lee, and Sharon. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Yeah, telling stories is everything. I just did this yesterday because I have to up my game to get the listings. I've had three sellers from out of state, which is all from my agent referral system from out of state. Two were military, one was a doctor. I just asked them permission to videotape because it was all virtual. I did everything virtual. I'm their eyes and ears, and I need to share that because in Michigan, between the Selfridge Air Force Base, the Coast Guards, doctors, with all of our hospitals, residents, that's important. And I'm telling the story. So I'm going to up my game and do the videos and YouTube because it's such an important message.
Lee, Corey, good morning.
So you're talking about building the confidence of the person that you're about to go meet with. Yes, the pre-listing is so important. Last week we got a call and we were scheduling the listing appointment and I started the questions, but I always say, a couple of days before I come out, I'm probably going to call you again and ask you questions because I want to be fully prepared for our meeting. But in the original call, I learned that it was his birthday on Monday, so he couldn't meet on Monday. So when we sent out the pre-listing packet, I put a birthday card and a sticker in there. And then I got to call him on Monday or Tuesday and say, hey, happy birthday. And did you wear your sticker? So it's just all about listening. And we do this on Early Birds. You have to listen to what the person is saying in order to connect.
That's so true. Lee, thank you so much. Sharon, you get the last word this morning.
Okay, thank you so much, James. We've adopted a concept in our market center that we are really doing a consultation instead of a presentation anytime we do a listing or meet with a buyer. And what that means is that you are asking the formative questions that can actually get you more information from the person, ease the conversation, and then you can be more of service because you found ideally what they want to do with that real estate goal. So we also use a lot of framers from Phil Jones. We found that has always helped us to gain trust with people. And the more you come out of curiosity, the more information you're going to be able to get from that person. And then you can tailor their experience to what that person's needs are. Thank you, James. Thanks for allowing me to share.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing, Sharon, because it was really, really good. This has been a good week as well. About really, look, we got to fill the pipeline. And if you're struggling, if that's where you are, if you don't have enough leads in the pipeline, then go back and watch all of last week's calls. They're on my YouTube channel and they're in the Facebook group. The Facebook is only saving them now for about 30 days, so I've been trying to upload them to the YouTube channel as well. So you can go back and watch. Go watch every call. Inspire members in our newsletter tomorrow. we'll have the one sheets for all of last week's calls, not this week's calls, but last week's calls ready for you so you can fill that lead pipeline. As that lead pipeline fills, we want you to get to an appointment. So you go and watch this week's calls to make sure that you're getting appointments. Next week is about getting that listing signed, period. All right? What good is all the other stuff if you don't get signs in yards? So we're going to talk about that next week. I hope this has been of value to you. Put an emoji in the chat to describe what this the first 2 weeks of June have been like for you, because I hope it's been of value. That's been our goal. We will be back and better than ever on Monday. Next week we have calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. We are taking Juneteenth off. We will not be on Juneteenth, but we'll be on every other day next week. So 4 calls next week to help you make sure that you get the listing. Go Pacers. You got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. We'll see you Monday. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, James.